she finds some connection with the part she plays. And it's just nice that she uses that other side of her to play these. I mean, like Pat and Margaret. Pat is a horrible person, but she managed, you know, and I knew she would rise to that occasion of being, well, bitchy. I don't usually write bitches, but Pat was one. She was horrible and cruel and obsessed with herself and selfish and vain and all the things that I would say Julie was not, but she brought a lot of truth to it.
You could have helped yourself, but you're like me.
That's right. I'm like you. I never had a father. I'm assuming her father wasn't my father. I just had you. Brought up the Vera way, what could I know? Housework stinks and black bras don't show the dirt. What else? Don't be warm, don't be kind, look after number one, stuff any other bugger who does different. You made me, you stupid cow, and you ballsed up.
Suddenly there was a whole other side to her that was really vicious and cruel. You know, she's not afraid of that. I suppose that's where her lack of vanity is so powerful, because she's not afraid to be horrible. She was really vile as the character. But strangely enough, as the story progressed, you suddenly thought, oh, God, you know, she's really quite sort of hurt underneath and doesn't really mean it. So she seems to have a million elements going at once. She's never just one thing at a time.
The thing with Julie, she just comes back again to her roots all the time. The whole relationship with her mother and where she comes from, and it's all been logged away.
Mother!
She has this library and she can just turn them on like that, you know, and it's not flippant, it's not surface, it's very deep and meant. There was no sense of hiding behind anything. She just was that Irish mother. And it turned out to be her own mother.
You've always been a difficult child, Michael.
I'm 43.
Will you stop interrupting me?
Mother, I'm in terrible trouble.
You've always been in terrible trouble, Michael. You've always driven me round the bend. You've always caused me grief. You've always made me worry, fearing the worst. Expecting little and getting less. Always wondering what you were doing and where in God's name you were going. Well, I know where you're going, Michael. I've talked to Maureen.
Mother, I think I might be going to jail.
You're going to hell, Michael. My mother chose a man who was very soft and gentle and totally non-judgmental. You know, I adored my father. I loved my mother as well, but it was different. My mother was the stronger of the two, and it was probably the most difficult of the two relationships because she was most like me. And we really sort of like to forces it out, you know, especially when I was a teenager, not so much when I was little.
All I want is a peaceful life for my children. I am gonna kill ye, wee girl. Have you completely lost your mind? Mary McCoy is lying dead tonight, and Eileen Curran has lost half her faith. And what is our bold Annie doing? Running around chasing boys.
I've no idea what you're talking about, Mother.
Don't cheat me! I saw you testing it with my own eyes.
I never associated it with my mother at all until I saw it on the screen, and I thought, Gordon Bennett, it's her.
You're to look after this house and this family.
They're not my children, they're yours.
My mother was an Irish Catholic, frustrated woman, really, because she was very bright at school, and she was chosen to stay at home on the farm, so she had to escape because she felt that, you know, that her life was going to held much more for her than that.
Julie's mother grew up on a small farm on the west coast of Ireland. Julie has not been back since she was 2 years old. Her only memories are of her mother's stories.
She died in 1989, and because there was another part of her, obviously, I couldn't mourn because I didn't really know about her. She told us about her childhood growing up, little stories about the farm, but not her deep inner sorts of ambitions and the young girl that she was. And this is it. This is it with the red and yellow bricks. Right. Well, we can't be far away. Did the dog come out to meet us? Yes, they're saying to you. Right.
Her grandparents' farmhouse no longer exists, but the land now belongs to Mary Philbin, a childhood friend of Julie's mother.
Hello, Mary.
You're very welcome.
Oh, thank you.
And I have heard all your damage down of your mother, the Lord rest her soul.
Oh, yes.
Oh, ever so much like her.
Oh, you sound like my mother.
And you talk and all, honest to God. Isn't it lovely? Well, it's lovely to meet you, isn't it?
It's
Isn't
lovely
it
to
wonderful?
meet you. Do you
Thank
remember
you.
my mother?
Oh, if I wouldn't, I grew up along with her.
Of course, we were at school.
But I was a few years, she was
Younger.
in higher class than I was. And a better scholar, a smarter person than, a smarter scholar than I was.
Oh, was she?
She was. She
Oh,
was
she'd love to
brilliant.
have heard that.
She was wonderful, young and a lovely person.
Where was the actual house?
Yes, right here now.
So the gate.
Right here now.
Oh, it's here.
From here, right over.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Yes, there.
Yes.
That was the front of the house.
That was the front of the house.
Right.
3 windows, a door, 3 windows and a door. And
What was it like? Was it made of stone?
The house, yes, built of stone and thatch roof.
Oh, it had a thatch
Timber and a thatch roof.
How lovely.
Did you ever hear her tell me what she told you about the thatch roof?
My mother had told me loads of things, you know, loads. Of course, I remember all the fairy stories and the little things
Yes,
she made up
yes,
and the
yes.
little dramatic things she told her.
Yes, of course.
But there were lots of other details, and you don't. But at that age, you don't take them.
No, you don't. They just go in one ear and out in the other.
Coming here to Ireland has just, it's just filled in a huge